All right, you have time, you just don't have the right structure. So it's funny because I have been analyzing a lot of my discovery calls with a lot of new clients. And right now I work with probably 90+% business owners. That's like 90% of my clientele, maybe a little bit more, are business owners. And some of them are very, very successful business owners. And a few of them now have told me that they have had conversations or have worked with other coaches, and the coaches have accused these guys of not being disciplined, right? Like the program wasn't working for them. They weren't achieving the results that they wanted, and they were accused of not being disciplined. And I've heard this from a few other people that I don't even work with. And it's funny because, look, man, if you have built a company, if you have built a 7, 8, 9-figure business, discipline is not the fucking issue. You have the discipline. It's not a problem. And this is one of the reasons why I love working with these guys. It's one of the reasons why I choose to work with these guys and I target these guys specifically, is because they already have the discipline. They just need the correct structure. So the problem isn't the discipline. The problem is that the systems and structures that somebody tried to put in place for them doesn't fit their actual lifestyle and their schedule and their timelines in order to allow them to execute, right? Because if you give these guys the right plan, they execute like monsters. Everything is pinpointed, everything is perfect, everything is tracked. Everything is perfection if you provide them the right structure and program, right? So what I'm gonna go over today, because this is a big thing, right, is time. And I hear this all the time from guys of like, well, I just don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have 2 hours a day to spend in the gym. And I'm gonna just show you exactly what the best split is if you are a business owner, busy guy, whatever it is, to get in and out of there, make the best results possible, optimize performance, and optimize an overall sense of well-being, I guess you can say. Getting lean, getting muscular, all of these things to perform well in life and business and the gym and all of that. So all we need, so this is going to be a 4-day split, 45 minutes at a time per session, right? Honestly, I have guys doing less than this. It all kind of depends on where you start, where you come in, and how much time you are able to genuinely commit to this process, right? But today we're gonna go over a 4-day split, 45 minutes at a time, okay? So for one, the 4-day split, what you wanna do is you wanna audit your week, right? And you need to pick 4 days of the week that you can genuinely commit to. So sometimes that might be a day or two on the weekend if you're off on weekends. But I can almost guarantee that if you really pan out and audit your week, there is 4 days, 3 to 4 days a week that you have an extra 45 minutes that you can get in there and get this done. And you got to remember too, like, this is such an investment. Like 45 minutes of invested time produces so much for you outside of the gym, right? In your life, in your business, in your work, in your relationships, and your confidence. Everything about your life gets better by just investing this amount of time, right? So the way that I do it is I pick 4 days of the week. So maybe 2 days during the week, 2 days during the weekend, or however it falls best. And I have them commit to those 4 days, right? Then all we need is 45 minutes at a time. So the main thing that we want to do here is, when we're choosing how we're going to build our workouts, what we want to look at, since we only have the 45 minutes, we want to maximize our return on that investment, right? So what we want to do is pick the movements that are going to give us the best ROI in our training. So we want the movements that are most effective and efficient and are going to elicit the most change in us. And we pick those and run with those, right? So if you want, go ahead and screenshot this. Hopefully you can see it all. But I have our push, our pull, our legs, and our core. These are going to be the best ROI movements, the best ones for us to choose from. So for push, we have incline dumbbell, my favorite. Barbell bench, cable flies, overhead press, lateral raises, dips, weighted dips especially. This is one of my absolute favorite push movements. Best fucking ROI movement that there is out there. close grip bench, tricep push downs, tricep overhead extensions. For pull, we have barbell rows, pull-ups, weighted pull-ups, again, just like the weighted dips, I love them. Pull downs, barbell or dumbbell rows, chest supported rows, cable rows, incline curls, barbell curls, and hammer curls, okay? For legs, barbell squat, leg press, leg extension, Romanian deadlifts, hip thrusts, leg curls, calf raises. And for core, we keep this extremely fucking simple. Cable crunch, leg raise, and back extensions, okay? Now, once we decide what we're gonna choose from here, we go down and we're gonna do 8 to 12 sets per muscle group per week, okay? So we're gonna choose these and we're gonna create a workout based around 8 to 12 sets per muscle group per week, okay? That's how we structure it. And then what we wanna focus on is high intensity, progressive overload, and achieving failure plus partials, right? I'll go over this in depth in a second. So if we were putting together a sample or an actual split for the week, this is exactly what it would look like right here, okay? So we would do an upper and lower split. That's how I would split this up. So you have 2 upper days and 2 lower days, all right? Now, based off of everything I just said over here, this is a good way to set this up. Again, go ahead and screenshot this if you want. But number 1, we're gonna start with upper A. That's gonna be day 1, upper A, all right? Now these, again, can fall on whatever days work best for you, but upper A is going to include dumbbell incline press, 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps, okay? Now, before I even move on, the way that I also structure this is heavier movement or heavier weight, lower reps, higher intensity, achieving failure, okay? You don't need a ton of volume in order to progress and grow, all right? Especially if you're not like, okay, now let me clarify, this is not if you're trying to be a fucking bodybuilder, but if you're watching this video, I'm assuming that's not you anyways. If you are looking to bodybuild, X out of this fucking video because this isn't for you. But if you just want to be in shape, lean, muscular, jacked, while still performing well in life and your business and managing all your other responsibilities, then this is perfect for you. So heavier weight, lower reps, higher intensity, okay? We don't need all the volume right now. Obviously we can add volume in as a progressive overload, but right now we don't need that. So upper A, what that's gonna look like, dumbbell incline press, 3 by 6 to 8. So 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps. Barbell rows, same thing, 3 by 6 to 8. Overhead press, 3 by 6 to 8. Weighted pull-ups, 3 by 6 to 8. Now, if you cannot do weighted pull-ups, do regular pull-ups or pull downs. If you cannot do regular pull-ups, do assisted pull-ups. The goal here is to continuously progress, which we are going to talk about, so just hang on, bear with me. Easy bar curls, supersetted with tricep push downs. I like to do this on the cables as it's super quick and efficient right there, and you can achieve a ton of muscular failure and partials there. So that 2 by 8 to 10. So now we're getting into a little bit higher of reps since we're doing a more volume approach or a more volume based movement. So 2 by 8 to 10. And then we're gonna finish off with a cable crunch for your core, which is gonna be 3 by 12 to 15, okay? Now, for your lower A, again, quick and easy. These are all gonna take you 45 minutes if you do them correctly. So barbell back squat, 3 by 4 to 6, Romanian deadlift, 3 by 8 to 10, leg press, 3 by 8 to 10, lunges, 2 by 8 to 10, and then hanging leg raises for your core again. So you're gonna hang on to a pull-up bar, do your leg raises, 3 by AMRAP, which is as many reps as possible. We're achieving failure on everything. All of these should be achieving failure. So upper B, close grip barbell bench press, chest supported dumbbell rows, lateral raise for your shoulders, okay? Cable rows, neutral grip cable rows. So that's gonna be a close grip, neutral grip row. Face pulls, supersetted with tricep extensions, okay? For one, because you can do that on the same pulley setup, right? It's quick and efficient. So you have your rope up here, you can do your face pulls, move the weight, do your tricep push downs, superset them. Cable crunches again, and then incline dumbbell curls. So that's gonna be incline curls on a bench. And then lower B is our hinge day. So we have conventional deadlifts, 3 by 4 to 6. So this could be a heavier movement. Hack squats, 3 by 8 to 10. Hip thrusts, 3 by 10 to 12. Leg curls, 3 by 10 to 12, calf raises 4 by 12 to 14. So on the calf raises, we're gonna go higher reps, higher volume to really tax those calf muscles. And I can't even talk right now, and maximize the amount of damage and return we get on this, okay? So again, go ahead and screenshot this if this is what you actually wanna do. But this part is less important than the rest of what I'm going to explain right now, okay? So yes, these are phenomenal movements and a phenomenal setup to maximize the return on that time that you're putting in, right? This is all that we need. It's very simple, very quick, very efficient, very effective. Now, the main thing to remember here, right, is over here. High intensity, progressive overload, and failure plus partials. This is what's going to cause growth if you're in a surplus, or, well, even if you're in a deficit, if you are undertrained. A lot of the times people are, even if they don't know. This can still cause growth, or at the bare minimum, retain as much muscle as possible if we do it this way, right? So high intensity, that means we're exerting a maximum amount of force, right? Like we're really pushing hard in this training, and that's why we do the lower reps, higher weights, right? We're achieving that really high intensity rather than really high volume. Progressive overload. So let me explain progressive overload, because this is the most important part of this entire setup here. So let's say, for example, right, we're gonna take the dumbbell incline press. So we have 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. So for progressive overload, we're gonna go here. So 3 by 6 to 8. Now, the main thing is you need to pick a weight here, and it's gonna take you some troubleshooting, and this is how you need to approach all of these. Pick a weight to work with to where you're failing between 6 and 8. So you wanna fail in between here. You wanna get at least 6, so minimum of 6, and no more than 8. All right, so you want to be failing between here. Now, if you achieve 8, if you fail at 8, then the weight goes up 5 to 10 pounds. Okay, that's once you hit 8, the next set you go up 5 to 10 pounds on that weight that you were using. Okay, now if you hit 6 or 7, then you're going to stay at that weight. You're going to continue using that weight until you hit 8. Okay, 8 is when you move. Now, if you don't hit 6, if you aren't able to hit 6 with that weight, then obviously decrease 5 to 10 pounds until you can. But this is how you continuously progressive overload. Once you hit this top number, you go up in weight, right? This is how you get stronger and bigger. This is extremely fucking important, because if you are not achieving failure and you are not progressively overloading, you are not going to grow. It's not going to happen, and you're going to be potentially losing muscle mass if you're in a deficit. This is extremely, extremely important. Now, when I say fail, what I mean is you fail. This is really ugly now. So when I say failure, what I mean is, say you failed at 8. 8 is the last full rep that you can do, okay? Now, after you hit this, you should be including these partials. So what that means is, say you're doing your dumbbell incline press, and you hit 8 for the last rep. That's your last full rep. You come down, you go to press again, and you can only make it halfway. This is where your partials start, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to continue trying to press and exert a maximum amount of force until you can no longer move those dumbbells, and then you put them down, okay? This is how we really, really achieve that muscular failure, that mechanical failure, and really exert a ton of intensity and force into that lift, right? And get the most out of it. We need to be achieving failure. We shouldn't be holding a ton of reps in reserve. Now, obviously, look, if you're doing like a powerlifting program or something very structured in that way, where we're trying to achieve a specific goal as far as maximum amount of weight lifted, then it's a different story. But again, just like we're not trying to be bodybuilders, if you're not trying to be a powerlifter right now, this is the most efficient way to train, right? Because again, we're only doing 4 days a week, 45 minutes at a time. Okay, now one more thing to go over is the rest. So rest periods. So the way that you want to look at rest periods, usually I program 2-minute rest periods. Okay, now I don't really care what the rest period is, because what you have to remember is that we're in the gym to build muscle, not burn calories. So when we're doing this, this is specifically to build or maintain muscle mass. I don't need your heart rate at 180 beats per minute. I don't need you covered in sweat. I don't need you looking like you're dying of a fucking heart attack because you're breathing so hard from trying to do this so fast, right? What you want to do for your rest periods is rest long enough to where you can exert a maximum amount of force and energy into the next set again. We want to get the most amount of force out of the muscles that we can every single set, okay? So you don't need to try and rush 60 seconds at a time. You don't need to rest as much as you need to rest in order to exert a maximum amount of force again, okay? So that's really the best way to go about it. Like I said, 4 days a week, 45 minutes at a time is going to be phenomenal. Now, obviously you can't just run this forever. And I mean, you could run it for a long time, to be completely honest with you, but obviously we want to be switching up. Usually I'll program this in 8 to 12 week blocks, switch things up from there, whether we add volume, switch up the rep ranges, add new movements. There's a bunch of different things that you can do, but overall, really, you can stick to a 4-day split, 45 minutes at a time for a very long time, you know? And one thing you'll realize when you really stick to this is the amount of time that you actually do have dedicated to it. And once you start getting the progress, receiving that feedback in the gym and in life and in business and all the other areas, you'll realize how much of a good investment this is, right? So it does not take a lot of time, you guys. Obviously, you need to pair this with proper nutrition, which I will make a video separately for that, specifically going over the best way to structure your nutrition with this, but this is all you need. So again, go ahead and screenshot if you need to, give this a shot, and then if you have any questions, reach out to me. You can comment on here, but best way to do it is reach out to me on Instagram at Grayline Fitness. You can reach out to me with any questions. If you need help with anything, whatever, feel free to reach out and we can go through everything together. But yeah, give this a shot, structure it. If you need a full blueprint, a full plan, I do have other videos below that will show you the best way to go about the entire process, right? Your blood work, your nutrition, your training, daily tasks, all the other stuff. So there's a ton of information in the other videos down below, but this is the first one I made specifically about training splits, just because I've been asked so many times about it. So hope this helped you guys. Again, hit me up with any questions. Check out the other videos, and I appreciate you guys.